Skol Nation, stop right now. US Bank Stadium just erupted with breaking news. And one number is already setting the building on fire. 2/3 of the first team reps. Kyler Murray is surging ahead, JJ McCarthy is fighting for his life in practice, and head coach Kevin O'Connell is playing a masterclass of psychological warfare. Insiders dropped the timeline last night, and here is your first payoff. Murray has officially taken roughly 2/3 of the starting reps, while McCarthy remains stuck with the second unit. If you bleed purple and gold more than you hate the Green Bay Packers, smash like and subscribe right now. We start with the quarterback chaos in Minneapolis that has the entire NFC North on absolute lockdown. Stay locked, because there is a massive double cliffhanger waiting at the end. Whispers turned into footsteps, and the entire QB depth chart in Minneapolis just sent shockwaves through training camp. The name? Kyler Murray. Head coach Kevin O'Connell is pulling the strings behind the scenes with a level of patience that is driving the national media insane. But inside the building, everything is moving with laser precision. Through 2 full weeks of intense practices, the quarterback battle between the former Arizona Cardinal and former Michigan star JJ McCarthy has produced high-octane highlights alongside painful rookie mistakes. Yet, if you look closely at how the practice snaps are being allocated, the writing on the wall is getting clearer by the hour. Murray is getting the vast majority of work with Justin Jefferson and the starting offensive line, while McCarthy is running out of time to pull off a dramatic comeback. Everyone from the coaching staff to the locker room leaders knows that the sooner a starter is declared, the faster this offense can build real chemistry before week 1. But O'Connell is in no rush to reveal his hand to the rest of the league. On a daily basis, local beats report shifting momentum based on a single throw or a bad interception in red zone drills. One day, Murray looks like an elite MVP candidate making circus plays out of structure. The next, McCarthy shows flashes of pure brilliance during night practice, keeping the narrative alive. But behind the curtain, NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport changed his tune right before Sunday night's showcase, confirming that Murray has firmly established himself as the favorite. During an appearance on the Pat McAfee show, ESPN insider Adam Schefter elaborated on the situation, stating that the organization remains determined to let this competition play out through the preseason games. Schefter noted that neither quarterback has completely separated from the other, to the point where O'Connell feels comfortable shutting down the battle today. In a perfect world, the Vikings plan to give both Murray and McCarthy one full start with the primary offensive unit during the preseason. That allows the coaching staff to evaluate both signal callers under live game conditions before making the final call ahead of the third preseason contest against Baltimore. That game will serve as the official dress rehearsal for the regular season opener. This calculated delay proves O'Connell is executing his master strategy to perfection, forcing both players to compete at their absolute highest level every single morning. What does this mean for the Vikings' tactical approach in 2026? Having a dynamic, seasoned playmaker like Murray under center allows the offense to utilize his elite mobility, opening up massive passing lanes for Jefferson and Jordan Addison downfield. On the flip side, if McCarthy stumbles in practice, it guarantees he gets essential development time without being thrown into the fire prematurely. Historically, young quarterbacks rushed into starting roles without complete command of the system face brutal sophomore slumps. Do you think Murray should be named the official Week 1 starter today? Or does McCarthy deserve a real shot with the first team? Drop your answer in the comments right now. If you believe O'Connell's strategy will lead Minnesota straight to a division title, hit that like button to show the rest of the NFC North who rules this territory. But as massive as this quarterback update is, our second story shifts to our fiercest rivals in Detroit, where a catastrophic injury on their offensive line just handed Minnesota a massive strategic advantage. Scouts called it a brutal blow to their interior blocking, and the front office in Detroit is scrambling for answers. The question was not if their line would crumble, but when. The identity everyone is talking about. Lions center Cade Mays, and his sudden injury just shifted the entire NFC North landscape. ESPN reporter Eric Woodyard dropped a bombshell revealing that Mays suffered a wrist fracture during practice, sidelining him for 8 to 10 full weeks. Detroit head coach Dan Campbell confirmed the news, trying to downplay the impact by joking that Mays would be ready for the postseason. But in a division where all 4 teams finished with winning records last year, no team can afford a massive hole in the middle of their offense. The Vikings narrowly avoided last place last year by beating Detroit on Christmas, and this new setback for the Lions opens the door wide open for Minnesota to take control. Detroit has suffered a nightmare at the center position ever since Frank Ragnow retired, enduring a revolving door of temporary fixes that backfired terribly last season. Mays was brought in after playing 726 offensive snaps for Carolina, allowing 0 sacks and just 11 pressures all year. Now that he is out, Detroit is forced to rely on Juice Scruggs, who surrendered 22 pressures and 5 sacks during his last starting stint in Houston. Minnesota fans know firsthand how crippling interior line weaknesses can be after watching Ryan Kelly deal with concussions and Garrett Bradbury get pushed around by heavy nose tackles. Now the tables have completely turned in favor of Minnesota's rising defensive front. The Vikings do not travel to Ford Field until November 1st, which means Detroit will be forced to survive a brutal opening stretch against the Saints, Bills, and Packers with a compromised pocket. This creates a golden opportunity for Minnesota's young interior defensive line. Dynamic pass rushers like Jalen Redmond, alongside powerful rookies Caleb Banks and Dominique Orange, are positioned to completely dominate Detroit's backup interior line. Left guard Christian Mahogany struggled heavily with injuries and consistency as a starter, while second-round pick Tate Ratledge is still adjusting to the brutal speed of NFL defenders. Furthermore, Detroit is dealing with the loss of running back Isaiah Pacheco to an MCL injury, meaning their offense is missing key pieces across the board. Even with Penei Sewell shifting over to left tackle following Taylor Decker's release, shuffling 3 different positions on the line makes any quarterback vulnerable to relentless blitz packages. Brian Flores is undoubtedly licking his chops looking at this matchup, knowing his creative pressure schemes can force game-altering turnovers. A single loss in this stacked division can drop a contender from first place to the cellar in a heartbeat. Does Minnesota have the dominant defensive line needed to crush Detroit's playoff hopes this season? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you want to see our pass rush completely destroy the Lions in Ford Field, smash that like button right now and send a message to Motor City. But while Detroit deals with their line disaster, an explosive trade rumor involving J.J. McCarthy just ignited a firestorm across the league, leading straight into our third breaking update. A move months in the making is finally leaking through executive circles. Sources say the file sat on the desk since early summer, and the locker room is already buzzing about the potential fallout. The name everyone is asking about: J.J. McCarthy, and an insider report suggests a sudden trade request could shock the franchise before mid-season. ESPN analyst Kevin Seifert revealed that Kyler Murray has established himself as the clear, heavy favorite for the QB1 job, taking roughly 2/3 of the first-team reps throughout training camp. Meanwhile, McCarthy has been relegated primarily to second-team duties, causing analysts to speculate whether Minnesota would consider listening to trade offers for the former first-round pick. To add fuel to the fire, the Vikings re-signed veteran Carson Wentz to serve as the third-string option and emergency bridge QB. Why bring back a high-profile veteran like Wentz if you are completely locked into keeping 2 young signal callers on the roster? When asked about his dynamic with Murray earlier this offseason, McCarthy made a telling classroom analogy, stating that he sits on one side of the room while Murray sits on the other, leaving it up to the coaches to teach them. While on the surface it sounds like professional rivalry, sports media insiders believe McCarthy views himself as a legitimate starter and may grow extremely frustrated sitting on the bench behind Murray. If Murray locks down the starting job on his 1-year prove-it deal and leads Minnesota to early wins, McCarthy could demand a trade midway through the 2026 season to find a team willing to hand him the keys. While young pocket passers rarely request trades early in their careers, former Colts backup Anthony Richardson did just that earlier this year, setting a fresh precedent across the league. 3 major quarterback-needy teams are already closely monitoring McCarthy's situation in Minnesota. First, the Los Angeles Rams are lurking. Head coach Sean McVay drafted Ty Simpson, but reports indicate McVay was visibly unhappy on draft night and wants a proven high-upside passer to inherit the offense once Matthew Stafford retires. Second, the New England Patriots are looking for high-end depth behind Drake May, as backup Tommy DeVito has failed to show meaningful progress. New England has a proven history of acquiring and developing talent like Jimmy Garoppolo and Mac Jones. Third, the Indianapolis Colts could make an aggressive play as early as October. Daniel Jones is coming off a season-ending injury, and backup Riley Leonard failed to stabilize the offense, forcing Phillip Rivers out of retirement last year. If Jones struggles or gets hurt again, Indianapolis will desperately seek a long-term solution. Losing a young quarterback with McCarthy's potential would be a massive gamble for Minnesota. But if Murray performs like a superstar, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah could fetch a king's ransom in draft capital. How much draft capital would it take for you to trade McCarthy to a contender this season? Drop your trade offers in the comments. If you think keeping McCarthy as high-end insurance is the smartest play, hit like and subscribe to keep up with every breaking development. 3 stories, 1 explosive landscape. The quarterback duel between Kyler Murray and J.J. McCarthy has set the tone for training camp. Detroit's offensive line crisis hands Minnesota an enormous division advantage, and the emerging trade rumors around McCarthy prove how high the stakes are in 2026. Minnesota does not fear the chaos surrounding this roster. Minnesota thrives in it. Head coach Kevin O'Connell and general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah are building a relentless machine designed to conquer the NFC North and make a deep postseason run. If Murray delivers on his elite potential and Brian Flores' defense exploits Detroit's weakened front line, the division crown is coming straight back to US Bank Stadium. The math is clear, the talent is undeniable, and the window to strike is right now. Now, I need 3 quick things from Viking Nation right here, right now. First, smash that like button if you believe Kyler Murray and Kevin O'Connell will take this franchise straight to the playoffs. Second, drop a comment with your exact record prediction for the 2026 regular season. Are we winning 12 games or are we going all the way to the Super Bowl? Third, hit that subscribe button immediately, because every new subscriber makes Green Bay Packers fans sweat, and we are taking over this division together. But pay close attention because here is the edge of the cliff. The ink is not dry on the starting lineup, and insiders whisper that one major defensive leader called an unannounced players-only meeting after last night's practice to address the quarterback situation directly. Was it to rally behind Murray or to demand McCarthy gets equal reps? That story drops in our very next video. Meanwhile, across the division, the Green Bay Packers just freed up $22 million in salary cap space and are preparing a massive contract offer for the exact same free agent pass rusher Minnesota is targeting. Which domino falls first, Minneapolis or Green Bay? Hit subscribe, stay locked to the channel, and let us make the entire NFC North bleed purple. Skol Nation, we ride together.